What up, everybody? Lord Fishy is back, and we're going to do a special episode today where we are going to try our best to make a transport truck. Um, I've tried this a few times now, and I have literally failed every time. So hopefully it goes well. If I suddenly go dead and you see a link for part 2, that's what happened, is I found a better way. But we're going to try our best. I don't usually cut any videos. I don't edit anything. I want you guys to know my personality. This is me. I'm not reading a script. I'm just having fun. We're all hopefully having fun together. Alright, let's get started. If you remember, at the beginning of the truck one, we saved our frame. We removed the truck, or the first car we made, and we saved the frame. If you need to build a frame, I hate to break it to you, but you need to go back and either watch a video you find on your own on frames and tires, or you could definitely watch mine, and you can have what you see in front of you. I make that in one of my other videos. It's on my channel. I'll try to put a link onto the end of this video or something, or maybe at the beginning. We'll see. Anyways, so let's get started. Once you got your frame, we'll go ahead, grab the whole frame. We'll go to edit mode. And then we're just going to grab this piece. And we're going to P, and we're going to hit selection. What we've just done is separated that piece from the rest of the frame. The reason we did this is because we're going to copy it and reuse it. We could have just made a new one, but I just did this to be a little faster. So spending all that time trying to get the right width and everything. And the reason being that we did this is that transport trucks tend to have one set of tires at the front and two sets at the back. And if you are putting this in Unreal, this may cause some issues. I know there's some issues with the tires and putting extra tires on. I also know there's a few videos out that you could probably find that will explain how to make the extra tires basically just a dead image that just kind of moves behind you that doesn't actually have physics on it. It's going to depend if you're using UE4, UE5. I think Unity might actually be better for adding tires and things. But I think it's more developed. What was that? What do I got highlighted then? Let's just go back there. I think it was more developed for making car games, where Unreal really isn't really made for that specifically. You can make car games on Unreal, and they're usually a lot better when you do, but it's not as easy to do it as it would be on a Unity game. Alright, we just need to find the right axis for this. So I'm just trying to change it. We might make a new one. It's getting messed up here. There we go, that's the right one. You see the move points way over here. It's because it's been copied and messed with so many times, basically, that it's shifted around. So we just want to line it up with the right, basically exactly with that frame piece there. Once you think you've got it, center it like that, and we'll shrink it a little bit. And the second set of tires isn't going to be as far back as the other one. So just going to do something like that. Let's see. And then one edge is up a little bit. So I'm just going to bump it over here before we hide that. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to attach this frame together. We're going to grab this piece, this piece, this piece, and we're going to attach it to that piece with Control J. Alright, we've got our transport frame now. And if you want to reuse this, another couple of uses you could get out of this frame to make some different stuff is you could make a camper, let's see, transport truck trailer, which we're going to do in the next one, so we're going to reuse this frame. So maybe we'll give it a name after we put some tires on it. I just duplicated that with Shift D. I'm going to drag this over. And when I feel like it's exactly in position, and take your time, pause the video if you need to make sure you got the right position. You want it to look good, especially if it's going in your game, right? Or even if you're just selling it in a marketplace, you're going to want it to look perfect. So I've just taken that tire, duplicated it with Shift D, and then I removed or added the minus this time. Sorry, I added the minus. So now we just need to figure out the right axis is to spin this tire. There we go. Now it's exactly on the other side. And we're not going to attach it. We're going to leave the tires disattached, because on Unreal, it's going to make things easier. You may have to attach the back too. I'm not sure which videos you're watching, what instructions you're following, but maybe take care of that first if it's going to be an issue, if you're worried about it. Maybe take care of it after if you're not. Alright, we're going to continue on. Let's get this built. Shift A, and this is where the fun begins, guys. We're going to do our very, very best. So we're going to do what we usually do to make a truck. Granted, you know this is going to be a bit different, but it's the same idea, same principle. We're going to make a vehicle, right? And we've done that a few times if you've been hanging out with Lordfish for very long. You've probably made a few by now where you're probably experimenting and slowly getting better. What I always got to say is, watch the video, do it with me, then go do it yourself and take your time. Or if I get ahead of you, or you just feel frustrated, take a break, pause the video, go have a tea, go have a coffee, go do what you do. Whatever it is that makes you feel that much better. And then come back. Don't give up. You're going to get this. Games are always so hard to make, and I feel so hard for these new developers because that learning curve at first is probably the hardest thing to get over. Right, so I should go back. I'm so sorry. I should be explaining this as I go, just in case, and that's why you guys having troubles learning. So I just keep on moving this around. There we go. So what I did here, I didn't mean to not explain it. I pushed E. I extracted. Went just below the tires because I know I'm going to bump this whole thing up. Transport cab's pretty tall on the top. So we're just going to try to get the general shape of one. Obviously this is squared off at the top, so we're not exactly the shape, but we want to just get the shape of the truck worked out a bit. Alright. How are we going to do this back part? You know what? I normally wouldn't do this, but we're going to use... Let's shift out of edit mode. We're going to use a separate block for this. Just because it's going to cause a lot of complications trying to use the same block and extracting it out of the back. Normally I wouldn't do this. I would make it all out of one piece for a reason. But we will do it this way. And we will attach. And we should not have any complications as long as we're very, very careful to make sure that it actually touches the pieces that you want it to be attached to. So you want it to kind of be just sitting in the frame. Maybe a little less. Do the same with this guy for now. This isn't our final adjustment. We're going to make tire holes. We're going to do all kinds of other things, but let's leave that there. Will we do one of these actually? Nope. Just the green. There we go. Go a little bit past. We'll bump it out after, but let's just try to get around the same width. It could be a little bigger if you're trying to get a certain look. You know what I mean? If not, you can go a little smaller if you're trying to get a certain look. You're going to have to go with what you think's good. I'm actually going to go with that. I like that. So we'll bump it this way until we're close to the edge, but not over the edge, so we make sure that they're good and attached. Bump it up a hair. And maybe you have a way that it doesn't matter, and it could be completely separated, it doesn't matter, but some people, the way they're going to make their game, it may cause complications, so I would just say keep them attached. Alright, so what do we need to do now? We've got a basic-ish shape. Normally I would mirror things, but again, since we're two pieces, we're probably not going to be able to do that. Let's see what we can do. Oops. Edit. Undo. Grab that piece and that piece. Make sure you don't got your frame when you move it up. And then I'm just going to attach this to the front half with Control J. So now they are one. Let's see what happens when we go to edit mode and we try to drive a thing down the middle. See, we can do our cab. And if you right click it, it should just center itself. And we can do... I'll flip out of there. Flip back in. Sorry, we're okay. We could do that. So now we actually can do our mirror technique. I didn't know if it was going to work, but let's go ahead and flip the faces. And sorry if I seem a little distracted. I'm trying to think things out for we don't end up giving ourselves trouble later, that we don't end up making something we can't recover from, because then this whole video's over and I need to start over, right? So a lot of pressure on me right now to get this right. Now it looks like on my transport, my tires don't go through the back. It actually fits on the middle, so I'm just going to have to put a tire mount here, basically. So flip back out of edit mode. I'll go to cylinder. I think it's going to be this one. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. A little bit bigger. And then we're going to shrink it down with this guy. Look at the size of your tire, maybe a little bit bigger. You're punching out a hole. Now this is all going to depend on your style of game. Does your vehicle have shocks? If so, you're going to want it to be a lot bigger, because you're going to need that room for your tire to bounce up and down inside of your wheel well. Or is it not having shocks? Because mine doesn't. I'm just going to go ahead like this, and that should be about the right size. I'll move it out to about there, because you can see where the tire ends. I don't want it to be too far from the tire. So now I will hit that, and I will objective bool, and hopefully it doesn't remove the back. Yeah, we got it. Sometimes after you've attached something, when you bool like that, it'll actually remove a part. So you got to be careful that it didn't just remove your back, in which case you would have had to go to bool and then difference down here. And when you went to this and clicked on it, you would have a few options to change what you just booled in case it didn't work anymore. So alright, we're out of that. We've done our wheel well. We've got to try to give our transport a look on the front. So let's see what we can do with that. And we want the bottom to be flat, I think, so we'll control B here. Let's give it a few bevels like that. Let's see what this looks like. Just trying to look for a certain type of look for a transport. Let's go back. I don't like it. And you'd probably be like, you did this in the truck. Sometimes it looks good, okay? Just gotta trust me. Gotta always check, because sometimes it does look really good. Okay, let's fix this up again. Is this the right size, this cab, for you? For me, it seems to be the right size, so I'm just going to go with it. If you need to adjust, you probably should have did it before the tire, and you can go back and adjust it, and then come back again and meet me after, and I apologize if that's the situation. It's hard to think all this stuff out, especially when I go live. Like I told you guys, I just kind of go for it. I think it's important to be real. When I watch YouTubers here, I see them all reading from scripts and editing their videos, and by the end of it, you can't even see who they are. You can just see what they want you to see. And this is me. I make mistakes, but I have fun, and I learn along the way. Alright, let's try that. If you got all the edges you want, I'm not going to grab the lower edges because I want them to be flat. Let's go for our look. And I think that's it. Now obviously this is a little high on the back, so let's grab that. If we got all the ones we want, move it down. And you got yourself a pretty even cab again. This front one's a little messed up. Maybe we should have did tire after, I guess. Gonna have to do, guys. We could do to fix this up. I think it's this one. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. Till it's nice and even. Pretty good. Oh. Got a little problem here. We'll just fix this up, hopefully. We're gonna dissolve this edge. Oof. And then grab this one, and grab this one, and hit J. Nope. Uh-oh. What do I do? What do I do? How are you your own face? That's so weird. Let's try going back a little bit. Things like this will cause issues, so you're gonna want to make sure it looks okay. Fix it up right. So maybe at this point, maybe we can go into these, push this, shift push that, push J. Now, hopefully, when I erase this line, we won't have that effect. And you may have to find your own solution to get around that issue. It may be a little different, but we found a solution nonetheless. All right, perfect, looks good. So, if you're going to have an interior in your vehicle, maybe we'll talk about this time. What you're going to want to do probably is again before the tire, maybe highlight these edges like so, and then do an F. But since we've already entered our tire, it's going to mess that up. So we're not going to do that. I'll find another way to do it later, slightly different, but just for example, it would probably be a little cleaner if we had done it that way, but we didn't. So moving forward, so we got the basic shape on both sides, right? Looks pretty good. Is your doors opening? Do your doors open? You need to decide that. I'm going to move this one just up a bit. That. And if your doors do open, we need to take them off. So Shift D, just like the truck. And we're going to take the two that we took off and delete faces. Alright, and you have a way into your cab. Alright, so what should we do next? Let's do the window. I'm trying to think if that's okay. I think it's okay. Let's go ahead and do it. Again, there's a lot of mistakes to be made when doing this. You're going to find a process that works for you, and then it's going to be great, but over some time it's going to be hard here and there. You're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. Take a deep breath. Don't be too discouraged you just lost what you did, and just start again. Don't give up. Never give up. Alright, so what will we do next? We got our doors, we got our frame on one side. Is there anything else we need to do before we mirror? Just trying to think to make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright, let's just go ahead and do it, and I apologize in case I made a mistake. I am very nervous about this transport series because, like I said, I've tried one once before, but it didn't end up quite working. And I think it was the same thing, and I came in a little nervous. So the part 2 might be a rework of this even, and we'll see, or I might just replace the video if this doesn't work perfectly. Doesn't look bad right now, though. So we got the body for what I would say is a pretty big truck, what could be called a transport, or maybe a tow truck, something like that. You got your 6 wheels. It's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a hitch on the back maybe, and then in our next video maybe we'll do a transport trailer that you could do as well. See how it goes here. Let's finish this one up first, I guess. So we're going to want to hit apply, and that's just going to approve the boolean of mirroring one side to the other, and that's fine. We want to do that. Probably going to want to get rid of this line down the middle. It's going to depend what you're doing again. Maybe you want it still for some reason or another, for shaping, who knows. But I'm going to get rid of mine. And I'm just going to hit, I left click the first one, and then I just hit, after that I just hit control, left click. Make sure it follows the line, it hasn't went off. It hasn't grabbed some other lines you don't want to get rid of. Because it will, sometimes. Alright, once you got them all, hit delete, and then dissolve edges. And they should have just disappeared right into the frame. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Good, good, good. Now we can do the front window. Actually, let's go ahead and do our bumpers. I like to do our bumpers early because I always tend to forget about them. And sometimes you'll go to, what do we got highlighted here? Oh, I didn't erase that one, apparently. And then if I hit Control R, I should be able to put a line across for our bumpers. I tend to forget them, and then I end up cutting into the spot where I was going to put them. And then that's sometimes where I get myself in trouble. So just to be careful, let's just do one of those. And since it was a flat bottom, it should be a pretty basic bumper. Just like that. Looks pretty good. Pretty square vehicle, but we want it to be transport shaped. Up to you if you want to do it at the back. Obviously it's just going to be flat, but there is a little trick you can do, and I'll show you what I can to try to make it look not just a square coming at the back, unless that's what you want. We're going to extract. We're going to stop when we want our bumper to end. Grab this side, and we'll hit E again. Like that. Go to this side, we'll hit E. We'll drag it over with our mouse until it's about the same as the other side. If it starts going off its axis, you could push X to make sure it's perfectly in line. So about the same gap, you're going to have to kind of guess at it this way. Alright, and then you can grab two edges if either you're happy and you like it like that and that's your bumper, or you can grab this edge, and you can do this and give it a little bit of a taper for a better shape. You have to do tail lights, things like that. So keep that in mind, that you're going to want to leave spaces for it. So, alright, we have our bumpers, we have our windows on our doors, we have not much else, so let's make some more stuff. Grab a face. I'm going to do both these at the same size time for they match. Just going to hit I and shrink them to where you're happy. Then one at a time, hit E, sink it in just a little bit. You can see the gap changing. Windshields and back windows tend to be almost flat, but just a little tiny and sunken. But again, you do you. Do it how you feel comfortable, what you want, what your look you're going for. So we've got all our windows now. Alright, what else can we do? What else can we do? A grill. And again, this may cause issues, so be ready for that. I think I got a fix for us if it does, but let's try to make a grill. And we've avoided attaching too many things to it, because if you bool, well, things are attached to your piece you've joined with S. Sorry, with Control J. I'm going to hit S now. Getting my two thoughts crossed. So I just scaled it in the middle with S. What's going to happen is you're going to cause more problems for yourself again later. So we're always going to try to think ahead to why that might cause a problem later and change it before it does. So things attached, you bool something out of it, the back end could disappear altogether. Remember that. So keep an eye on it, and if it happens, you may be able to use the bool tools to adjust your type of bool for it doesn't happen, and you may be screwed. You may not be able to bool a hole out of the front. It might just be over. And that's what happens, so it's just the way it goes sometimes. And you're going to have to not get too frustrated and keep your spirits up. You got this. Alright, Control B, we're just going to round this a little bit. Again, this is, oh, I hit the wrong button there. Alright, and we'll just tab out of that. I hit a lot of wrong buttons because I don't look at my keyboard. I just get going and I don't even look down, and then I just start drumming the wrong buttons. Like an old fool. Alright. Get it in place. Perfect. Shift D. We're going to copy this in case it does work. And we're going to need a replacement. We're going to need something to put in our bool hole. I'm going to do that. Object. Bool. We'll try difference. Everything looks good back here. Yeah, we're good. So we'll go into edit mode and we'll go to faces and we'll grab that. Delete. Face. So we have our grill hole now. We'll wheel this piece in. Stop when you're happy-ish. Shrink her down maybe a little bit till you're happy. Again, this is your vehicle, so you got to give it your look. Every bit of time that you take to give it a different look for yourself is going to make the truck look better. It's going to make it more yours too, more your game, right? So take your time. Did I copy that? Let's see. Yes. Okay. And make it yours. Don't be afraid to try something new that I'm not doing. You know, don't be afraid to share your tips with other people like I'm doing with you guys. I'm hoping that this actually helps people just become more comfortable with Blender and just try things on their own. As a game maker, I don't feel intimidated helping other people get into the market. I encourage it. So find the shape you want, the thickness you want. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe a little thinner. Back up. You know what? Let's shift over here to this one. Because we finished color in last view, it gave us a weird view. Sorry, I just noticed now. Shift D. I don't have my glasses on, I can't see. I'm just kidding, I can see without them mostly. Shift D. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Take it out of here. And there's our grill. I've got a cool little grill for our truck now. Still missing a few things, but we're getting there. Alright, this is, you know what, this might be a three-parter, because maybe we'll color it in the end, maybe I won't, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are thinking, because like I don't get a lot of comments here. Getting more and more subscribers and lots of views, but nobody's saying anything. Alright, so let's make some headlights. I think you guys are liking what I'm doing, but I'm not really too sure. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys keep watching. But I've been enjoying making things for you. Switch to the edges. Grab that, that. And I hope you guys have been too. I hope you feel like you can feel my personality. And you actually feel like you're sitting down with a real human being and you're learning things. Alright, let's thin that out. Maybe we'll do some videos in the future and talk about a little bit about the history of how I got to this point of being able to do Blender and things like that. I don't know how personal I want to get on YouTube. I'm still pretty fresh to the whole process. So I got it at editor mode and I just shrank that down. Pause the video if I was talking and distracting you and not telling you what to do. Till you're happy. Alright. And okay. So we're going to scale it a little bit. Try to find exactly what you're looking for. If your lights are too big, shrink them. If they're too small, make them bigger. Do what you're looking for. Get the edge sticking out how far you want it. Sometimes it's better to have it better look like that. Sometimes it's better to have them sticking out. Depends what you're going for. Going for an old rusty truck, I think this is the best we can do. Since we're not putting this on an angle or anything, let's click off that. We're in edit mode now. We're going to grab the face. Let's go ahead and do what we normally do. Hit I. Okay. Now, we're going to take this arrow. Normally we go E, but let's just take this arrow and drag it in a little bit. And it gives it a tapered edge there. I thought I'd show you guys a different way to do it instead of being so square. Alright, Shift D, copy it. Go down to our coordinates. Let's see which one it is. Hopefully this one. No. So add that minus back to that. No, that wasn't it. Sorry, I wasn't paying very much attention. I just kind of reach over and hammer. There we go. And then this has got to be the right one. Okay, I've showed you 3 examples of what not to click on. That was great. Alright, we are going to leave these. Yeah, we're going to leave these disattached for now. So, but I am going to do something. I'm going to cheat a little bit. No, you know what? Let's do a different one on the back. These are a different type of vehicle. So make sure you're not in edit mode. Hit Shift A. Let's go ahead and make another cylinder. Wind it back to where we want it ish. Find the right axis. That's the one. Scale her down until it's going to fit on this bar at least. So let's wind her out and see what we got. It's around the right size. So let's take her over here. How many lights do you want? Do you want one? Do you want two? Well, let's first size it and perfect this one for we can just copy it and then just paste it all along. And let's see if we can do this a bit different than we normally do. Just for something different, just to show you guys some different techniques. So we're going to hit I, and yes, we normally do that. And then we're going to hit E. Yes, we normally do that. And then we're going to hit I. We're going to shrink right down to the middle. Now we're going to hit, take it, drag it out a little bit, like that. And then we're going to hit Control B. And again, you can put another edge, so now it's kind of more circle-ish on the inside. Put your beam right in the middle, and that's one handsome tail light. Let's go ahead and Shift D it. And then we got to Shift D it again, because they got to be on the other side. Oh god, I should have remembered which coordinates it was. Let's try this one. That's the one. Shift D this one. And now you need to decide if you're attaching them or if they're going to be disattachable. I'm going to attach the back, so I'm just going to do that. I think I'm done with my bools, so I can go ahead and attach things. And we've got a pretty nice back end on this transport truck, guys. Now maybe yours is a little different, maybe you did it a little different. That's completely fine. You know what, maybe we'll even go into part 4 on this if you guys wanted me to do the inner cab and stuff like that. But in case you're having troubles, let's look at putting the inner wall on this for you can't see through it. Basically, and like, oh yeah, that's not good either. But let's see what we can do. Grab that one, go to edges. Grab that, we'll hit Control, and we'll follow the inner edge. Make sure you're not grabbing the window. Use your hand to move you over if you need to, for you can see what you're doing. Control, left click, and then the very last one. Alright, I don't know how that's going to go, but let's give it a shot. F. There you go, there you have it. And it doesn't look like it's poking through. Looks like it's perfectly in line with the other one, and you have an inner wall. Just wanted to show you that in case you're trying to make a dashboard, things like that. You're going to need that. So you can do it just about any of the vehicles. You may have to add a second one on the top if there's like more of a circle going in, if it leans in more like the cars do. But either way, that should give you what you need to get that done. As you can see now, we can't see through into the cab. Alright, where are we? I think we're pretty much done. We got tail lights, we got headlights. Maybe we'll attach the headlights. It's all up to you. I'm just gonna, for simplicity, go ahead and Control J and attach all those. So now it's just one piece. We got one truck in one piece, right? We're not gonna attach it to the frame yet. That'll all be later. You know what? Actually, we probably could attach it to the frame. Let's go ahead and attach it to the frame too. I think we're safe on that. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I think we're good. One more piece we could add actually is we're going to need something to indicate, I wasn't thinking, sorry about that, where the transport back is going to hook in. Okay, so let's just, should have thought ahead about this more, but I think we're going to be okay to just make a separate piece and just attach it. So we'll do that. That's around right. So as I know transports to be. It's going to be somewhere in between the two tires because of the stability of where that area would be. Make sure it's attached down here, and you can see it's through the floor. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do, click on this, go to Edit, Faces, click the middle, I, and now we are going to lift that just a little bit. You see the angle? Hit E. Let's go for a while. Hit E. Hit S, stretch it out. Hit E. Hit S. Hit E. Hit S, go down this time. Hit E. Hit S. Hit E. Hit S. Alright, we got a hitch on the back. I think it looks pretty good. You can do yours different. It's all up to you. Try to get it in the center there. Should give you a good stability point. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so just from using some common sense. That should be a pretty stable spot on the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and attach it, and Control J, and we're attached. We are waiting for our transport back, which we will do in the next episode. Now, always remember to like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what your game is. Tell me about your project if you want, without giving too many secrets away. Just tell me what you're working on. I'm interested to see what people are making these days and how your progress is and what you need help on. And we'll make some more videos that everybody can enjoy. I'll be back for a part 2 where we'll make a transport truck back, like a trailer, I guess. Trailer. And remember, if this has helped you and you feel like you'd like to give back a little bit, well, feel free to check out our game. It should be below in the description. You can go to my channel on YouTube. And thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for watching.